Hey, what's up, people? Today, I wanted to talk about the Winter Seasonal 7 from RBY Overused. If y'all see it right here, the Winter Seasonal number 7. I want to talk about the leads, some of the leads, how commonly they're used, all that fun stuff, and then we'll get into the actual Pokemon, their usage rates, and what I think caused a couple of shifts in the meta just slightly for the Winter Seasonal 7. So yeah, just gonna get into it. Starmie as the best lead. What have I been saying? Starmie is the most used lead. What have I been saying? Starmie is arguably the best lead in the game. I'm surprised Alakazam is under Jinx, if I'm being honest. But Jinx is the best lead sleeper in the game. So you kind of have like your lead offensive, and then your second best lead offensive. Then you have your lead sleeper and your second best lead sleeper. You see what I'm saying? It kind of goes down to that descending order. Um, Overall, I mean, it's pretty much expected. Like, if you're going to have a Starmie as your lead, you're not going to be putting Alakazam up there as your lead most of the time. Now, I used to run Alakazam as my lead personally, but I mean, I'm not the best player, so. And now I run Starmie as my lead because I think Starmie is the best lead without a doubt. Being able to Blizzard, being able to Psychic, whatever you want to, is absolutely phenomenal. And baiting out Thunder Wave, T Wave is always very fun. In the 3 to 4%, we got Zapdos. I was kind of expecting Zapdos to be here. I think Zapdos is the fifth best lead with Tauros as well. I was surprised to see Jolteon over Tauros and Chansey over Tauros as well. I mean, people typically don't throw Chansey out up front. Like, what are you doing with Chansey? Are you just trying to get it paralyzed? Like, they're obviously not going to go for the paralysis if they're trying to freeze it, right? So why would you throw Chansey out front over Tauros? That makes no sense to me. But to be fair, right? Tauros can't paralyze anything. It can't put anything to sleep. Now, Executor can put things to sleep and explode on him, but he's slow. So if they have a Starmie as the lead, the reason Executor is down here probably in this like I can't remember, 1.2% leads or something like that is because Starmie is such a dominant lead that Executor can't really catch a break. Because it's slower than Starmie, and I believe 2 Blizzards kills Executor. So a crit Blizzard would obviously kill Executor as well. Just overall, not a good spot to be in for Executor with Starmie as the main lead. So I think that explains Executor being down here. Tauros just doesn't have status moves. Zapdos has a status move. Jolteon has a status move. Chansey has status moves. Executor has status moves. Tauros doesn't, but arguably Tauros is arguably the most powerful Pokemon. The stats would say otherwise, right? That Tauros is the best, but we'll get into that later. And then at the sub 1%, we have some UU Pokemon and some OU Pokemon as well. Paraspect as the lead. This is just for guaranteed sleep. It gets Spore, the only guaranteed sleeper in the game, because Paraspect is the only sleeper that gets Spore. Kadabra is just Alakazam, but weaker. I don't know who was running Kadabra as their lead, but more power to you. Golem to just explode on something. I mean, if they switch into Chansey, or if they switch into really anything, you can just explode on it. And then Slowbro. Slowbro as the lead. It makes a little bit of sense. I mean, it's going to get paralyzed immediately, but it can maybe get some amnesias off before, you start doing some crazy things. But overall, still not a good strategy to try and put amnesias on first before you even paralyze a bunch of shit or before you even put something to sleep. It's not a good idea to have Slowbro as the lead. But yeah, that's all the leads for the Winter Seasonal 7 explained and why I think that they are where they are. Now, these 2 sleepers, here, the Thunder Wave, Psychic, Strong, here, boom. All that fun stuff. Let's get into the actual Pokemon. At the 90 plus percent, these guys were on 90 plus percent of all teams, which is absolutely ridiculous. Snorlax was at 93% and Tauros was at 92. Snorlax actually finally beat out Tauros in some way, somehow, and it was on the Winter Seasonal 7. Why do I think this is? Well, Snorlax is the best fucking Pokemon in the game. What do you want me to tell you? Reflect, Rest, Self-Destruct, Ice Beam, Body Slam, Earthquake. Do I need to say anything more, man? Snorlax is just absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Tauros only gets Body Slam, Blizzard, Earthquake, Hyper Beam, but still very, very good, in my opinion. Very, very good. Definitely the second best Pokemon. The third best is not really shocking anyone. I mean, I think Executor is the third best in the game. Sue me, But Chansey is the third best. I mean, it makes sense. It's your special wall. So you have your physical sweeper, you have your physical wall, you have your special wall. And then for the Executor, you have your sleeper, the best sleeper in the game because it gets explosion, psychic, mega drain, stun spore, sleep powder, all that fun stuff. Yeah. So Executor being fourth makes a whole lot of sense. Now, Starmie being this high above the rest is what really intrigues me because I think Gen 1 OU, it's not really about the big three anymore, y'all. I'm starting to think it's about the big five. Look at the fucking gap between this. That is 25% percentage points of a gap between the fifth and the sixth through whatever's of Pokemon in this generation, right? So what the hell is even going on? Why are we calling it? Why are we still calling it the big three? It should be the big five. Hell, it should have been the big four like 5 years ago with Executor. Anyways, Alakazam as the sixth most popular. This isn't shocking anyone. Zapdos is the sixth most. This isn't shocking anyone as well. These are my two personal picks for the best number 6 Pokemon slot, as well as Rhydon. I think Rhydon's also a really good pick for the number 6 Pokemon slot. These are just your support troops, they're your support strong, they get Thunder Wave, maybe they get Sub, they get Rock Slide, Psychic, Thunderbolt. They each counter different things in their own way. And, some of them stay on the field longer. Some of them don't care to stay on the field, just need to get the job done and kill Starmie. Some of them just need to get the job done and kill Zapdos, It all depends on what you want to do. But at the end of the day, these are probably the 3 best supporters. Let's get into the sleepers. So the sleepers are in between, 20 and like 18%, something like that. I think Gengar was like 15%. Jinx was like 23, 24. I don't know. But yeah, the sleepers are down here. Why are the sleepers down here? Because the best sleeper is up here. I mean, obviously, once your role gets taken by a really good Pokemon, you're not going to be having that much of a role to do anymore. So, yeah. Jinx and Gengar stay down here. Cloyster also is down here. Now, Cloyster, I will say, Cloyster and Blizzard is kind of scary for Tauros. Or not Tauros, for Snorlax, because Snorlax is a guaranteed 3-hit KO from Cloyster's Blizzard. It's kind of like the sneaky Zapdos, Like Zapdos, Zapdos is countering Starmie and Snorlax with Thunderbolt, but Cloyster can't really counter Starmie, which is why I think Cloyster is below Zapdos, because it doesn't get that extra advantage of the Thunderbolt being able to kill Starmie. Jolteon all the way down here. Jolteon is just a really mediocre Pokemon for Gen 1 OU. Like, it doesn't really have too much going for it. It gets Double Kick, Pin Missile, Thunderbolt, and Thunder Wave, if I'm not mistaken. Like, it's kind of like the weaker, more coverage diverse Zapdos that doesn't do as much. It just doesn't do as much with what it's good at. It just kind of diversifies into other fields and tries to activate those for more special effective coverage. And lastly, for the OU Pokemon, I do believe these are all the OU Pokemon. Oh. Lastly, for the OU Pokemon, we got Slowbro in 3 to 9%. Slowbro was the least used Pokemon. And I've kind of changed my mind about Slowbro. I think Slowbro is a C tier Pokemon now. I think Cloyster is the only D tier. And Cloyster's only D tier because the B tier Zapdos exists. But I think Slowbro is C tier over there with Jolteon in my tier list. Because Amnesia is really scary. Like, even if you still have your Chansey, like, assuming it hasn't got frozen. Like, if your Chansey got frozen and Slowbro starts fucking, like, Amnesiaing up, it's a Jover, bro. It's a wrap. You need Zapdos on that Slowbro to kill it, right? Or a Starmie Thunderbolt, Gengar Thunderbolt, Chansey Thunderbolt. You need Thunderbolt to kill this guy. Or some big physical attackers.Maybe you sack off Tauros or something. I don't know. But still. Slowbro. He gets Rest, Amnesia, Surf, and what else does he get? Something. Thunderwave? I don't know. But yeah, all the way down here in 3%. So now we're going to get into the 1 to 2%. This is some of the lowest of the lows. Articuno. Articuno has the highest stab blizzard in the game, so it kind of makes sense why it would be the most used. That's not an OU. I believe Articuno is UUBL, if I'm not mistaken. And so is Lapras as well. I'm sorry, I don't really know my UUs, so correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe you're UUBL, you are UUBL, and you're UUBL, if I'm not mistaken. But Articuno, highest stab blizzard in the game. Weeping Bell. Weeping Bell is grass poison. Weeping Bell, or is this Weeping Bell? Victory Bell. Sorry, Victory Bell gets Sleep Powder, so it's a good sleeper. I mean, it's an alright sleeper. It's fast, it's grass, it's poison, it's weak to Psychic, which sucks. It's weak to Blizzard, which sucks. 2 of the most common moves in the game. Yeah, not the funnest. Persian gets Slash, which is a guaranteed 3-hit kill on Snorlax. It's kind of like the rich man's Sand Slash, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Stab, Slash, normal type. I mean, very fun. Able to kill Snorlax in a jiffy, very fast as well. Overall, pretty good. I wouldn't imagine someone winning quite a few games with Persian, just being a very good surprise factor to switch in on the Snorlax. And lastly, in the 1 to 2%, whoa. Lastly, in the 1 to 2%, we have Lapras. Lapras is ice water, if I'm not mistaken. It gets Blizzard. I think it gets Rest. I don't exactly know. It's pretty much just another Cloyster. Kind of like Articuno, but Articuno is flying, so Articuno has that weakness to Blizzard. I don't know. Lapras seems to me just like another Cloyster, so we'll keep it pushing, keep it moving. Lastly, in the sub 1% tier, I'm going to kind of rapid fire through these because I don't feel like talking that long. Golem. Golem explodes on things. Weak to Blizzard. Can't do it. Dragonite wraps things. If it gets paralyzed, it's useless. Weak to Blizzard. Can't do it. Venusaur. Grass. Poison. Weak to fucking Blizzard, but it can put things to sleep, so it's, it's alright. Krabby gets critical hit Crab Hammer, which is super effective against grass types, good for, or not grass types, what is water super effective against? I'm a fucking idiot. Water, fire, and ground, and rock. Quadruple effective against Rhydon, I guess. IG. Yeah, that's Kingler. What are you? Moltres? Moltres, the only good fire type in the game. Also, there's no fighting types on here, by the way. I just want to say this. I think people shit on the bug type too much, but like, where is your fighting types at, dog? Where the fuck is your fighting type at? Anyways, uh, Moltres, the only good fire Pokemon in the game, so that can be kind of shocking. I don't know, weak to Blizzard. Fearow, weak to Blizzard. Also has crazy high physical attack, can use agility, blah, 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 blah. Paraspect gets Spored, the only 100% guaranteed sleep move in the game, so obviously it's going to be used some of the time. Gyarados is weak to Blizzard. Weak to Blizzard. Weak to flying. Weak to Blizzard. Gyarados gets Dragon Rage, Dragon Dance. No, I'm kidding. If only this was Gen 3, right? I don't know. Gyarados gets something. Sand Slash, the Snorlax killer, gets Slash. 3 critical hits and Snorlax is dead. I think 2 and 1 normal. Also, Snorlax is dead. Amistar. Amistar is rock water. So it has good coverage. Has good type coverage. It gets access to Blizzard. Access to Hydro Pump. Haunter is just worse Gengar. I don't know why people were running Haunter. Kadabra is just worse Alakazam. I don't know why people were running Kadabra. Maybe they were doing some UU bullshit. Or some Little Cup. No, these guys aren't Little Cup. These guys are UU. Anyways, that is the tier list. That is the usage ranks for the winter seasonal number 7. I'll let y'all know when the final total stats come out. I'm still waiting on those as well. And we can talk about that. But as far as the seasonal, it makes a bunch of sense, right? It makes a lot of sense. The main big shocker is Snorlax over Tauros, just like I've been saying. Come on, y'all. Keep it pushing.